Let's say a very pleasant welcome to this Monday, the 7th of July. Is it the 7th, Jordan, or the 8th?
Today should be the 8th. Don't
The
take us
8th, the 8th of
back.
July.
There's the 8th.
The 7th month, the 8th day of the month. I love to welcome all of you to Intel Sports and Talk Sports. Firstly, we were off the air for some time for the last two editions, okay, because of some technical problem. So we try to put some perspectives into place so that once and if we continue, there's no stopping. My name is Ben, as always. Trojan is pitched alongside me. Nice looking yellow Intel Sports t-shirt. Welcome.
Good evening, Ben. And of course, good evening to all of our viewers out there. It's wonderful to be back once more on Intel Sports Talk. This lovely Monday is wet, but there's been a bit of sunshine for the last couple of days. So
you expect rain.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable.
Yeah. So we were experiencing what I consider a bit of dry in the middle of the rain. So we continue with the rain.
Wow, I don't like the rain.
You don't-
Really hate
You
it.
don't like the rain. Don't be a farmer then.
But for you, probably you love it because you get the comfort of a car. I don't have a car. So
Unfortunately,
I have to like scratch my legs in between, jump over waters, and
well, it's not because of that.
puddles of mud and so forth.
No,
But for you,
it's
you
not
don't.
because of that. I love nature. Everything about nature I love. I love the sun. I love the rain. And if I were in the West, I would love the snow as
Snow
well.
as well.
Yeah, so I love nature. So I appreciate the rain when it comes because it is the time it is supposed to come. We just got to prepare for it. That's all.
Yeah, probably you may get a point, but for me, the fact is that
You wouldn't be happy if it were to rain all year round. I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
All right. If the sun were to shine all year round, you wouldn't be happy. I too wouldn't be happy. So a bit of both is okay.
this is Intel Sports. We're trying to introduce the program to Stock Sports. We've been off since the last edition on Monday. What's that, early in the week? The month?
Huh? No,
Yeah,
we had
the first of the month. The
yeah,
first
we
was
were
on
here
Monday.
on the 1st of
Yeah.
July.
So,
We were
so
here on last Wednesday and
Okay.
Friday.
And so we are back. Yeah, we talk sports, obviously, and wide range of issues we're going to be discussing today. We have our expert of panelists. They are going to come on the platform with us. Technical Vice President, correct me if I'm wrong, Malcolm Joseph of the Liberia National Olympic Committee will be one of our guests, principal guests. I think he's going to come on around 7:45. Okay, but before that, we have Eddie Harris, a big sport pundit, fan, if you like, for the basketball, all through Liberian football as well. Former vice president for FPRS Oilers Sports Association, currently lives in the US of A. He's going to come on as well as we talk all things sports on this edition of the program and lots of trending issues. Okay, Black Men Warriors, now for the first time in this year, they've traveled to Europe, this time in Finland, to play in the Helsinki 2024 championship. It's a dedication of 20 held by Deputy Secretary General of Liberia Football Association, Mohammed Sharif. Okay, that have gone there. You recall that early in the year, Black Men Warrior, Duke BMW, were in Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
Okay, so after that tour, now just less than 4 months, they are in Europe again. This time they will be in Helsinki, okay, Finland. And we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the national third division played off. It's been an amazing competition. The first round is complete. There were some upsets inevitably, but the most predictable teams went through to the last round of the competition or the next stage of the competition. Downtown are also through. So I must mention that all 4 Montserrat clubs are through, with 2 of them meeting each other. I think Amazing pitched alongside Chemical FC. We'll also talk about that. And then the league, after the league, you know what I'm talking about? Which league is that?
The league,
The league that comes after the league, after the National League.
It's a district.
The District League. The District League is a few days away. It starts on Thursday, on the 10th of July. We'll unveil to you the first round fixtures. Okay, it is going to be absolutely amazing. Who's the defending champion? It's
District 11.
11. So District 11 won the last time, I think, beating District number 16 in the final. If you can recall, we had before
District 17.
17 in the final.
Yeah,
Before that final, we had the 2 coaches. Yeah,
Because I didn't lose anything, you know. My origin is District 11,
11.
and my current resident is District 17. So that final, I had nothing to lose.
We still won.
I still won. Whichever way I ended, I was going to win.
So we'll see how District 11 defend the championship of the crown they won back in next year. That's almost 12 months ago. I understand that District number 1 is the most powerful now. They're spending the most money with the involvement of Shakhtar CEO and President Beknetor Ure. When I talk to her though, but we'll talk about the team. So we'll see how strong they are. The PSV Cup is over. We discussed the prospects of PSV as a club, and also trying to play in the CAF Confederations Cup for the first time in the club history. They're giving us some of the players too. And so much more we've got to discuss with you in this presentation, Trojan.
Yeah, very definitely. We will have, like Ben said, the Vice President of the Liberia National Olympic Committee, Malcolm Wulimonga Joseph. And of course, he's a Bassa man, so he understands what Wulimonga means.
Money that man.
Money that man. Okay. So,
money makes you man. So man has to toil the soil and look for money.
Sure. So Malcolm Money that man Joseph will be our guest. He's the Vice President of the Liberia National Olympic Committee, LNOC for short. And we're going to be discussing, of course, Team Liberia. A group of athletes have made it. They've made it to represent Liberia at the upcoming Olympics scheduled for July 26th. And it'll be kicking off on our Independence Day. Of course, we have a champion from Africa representing Liberia. Of course, Fambule. And we'll talk about the entire team, the prospects of us winning our first medals. It could be bronze, it could be silver, it could be gold. What are the prospects? We'll look at that. The team financing, how is it like? We're going to be looking at that. Preparation as well. We want to be looking at that once Malcolm Joseph comes on the program this evening here on Sports Talk. But we have a lot of other things to discuss. And of course, our panelists from Canada and the USA will be joining us, respectively. Bill Nuri, of course, a former Invisible 11I player. He also
player, that's why he played for the national
team of Liberia. Bill Nuri. He will be joining us from Canada. Expected to join us as well is former Lone Star goalkeeper Anthony Tokma. Of course, you know, he also was playing for Invisible 11I as well, Anthony Tokma. He should be joining us as one of our panelists. And then we will have Eddie Harris. He's joining us from the United States. Same with Anthony Tokma. They will be joining us from the US. They are a team of panelists that will be joining us. And of course, we're going to be talking about all aspects of sports right here, giving the various analysis on various issues that will be coming up on this evening's edition of the program Sports Talk.
So that's how the menu looks like. This break, when we come back, we go straight into the discussion. let's welcome you back to the show. Almost quarter of an hour after kickoff on Sports Talk. My name is Ben. Trojan is here. Let's go straight into it with the aggregate results from the just ended first round of the National Third Division playoff. A reminder for you, the playoff is intended to fill 3 slots that are available following the relegation of 3 teams from the second division. It's a competition that has been played in this format since 2018 when Mustafa Raji was elected by stakeholders as president of the Liberia Football Association. So let's see the aggregate results on your screen. I don't know whether Trojan can see from here. No, he doesn't have the eye to see, but I'm going to help you. First is Bundy up against Bapolu. Amazing from Montserrat advance 5-3 on aggregate. Downtown, as we've been saying, beat Kandaka of Cape Town 3-1 on aggregate. But the same aggregate scoreline, United Angels defeated Blue Lake of Bombing County. United Angels is from Bapolu. Elsewhere, Kemokab of Montserrat sold off Kongtan of Cape Town 2-0 aggregate scoreline. District 17 Academy scored the most goals in the first round, thrashing Xavier of Bomi 9-4 on aggregates. All those results were in Zone 1. In Zone 2, Lofat Fulani were beaten by Gumpat FC 2-2 on aggregate, 4-3 on penalty kick. The side for Nima progressed at the expense of the Lofians. Elsewhere, Nima Young Controllers, obviously for Nima County, defeated Phoebe Athletics 3-2 over 2 legs. Bon County champions defeating Nima County champions 1-1 over the aggregate scoreline, but the Bungis going through 7-6 on penalty kick. That result confirms the result from Zone 2. In Zone 3, an aggregate scoreline, Fishtown 2, Dreams FC of Sando 3. I must mention that Fishtown is from River G County. And then in a derby between the South from Grand Judah and Maryland County, defeating Paris 3, Takun 2, aggregate scoreline. And to complete Zone 3, Young Rollers of Grand Crew lost 2-0 to River G County's Finda FC, 2-0 on aggregate. And in Zone 4, this Monday is the United, the champions of Gambasa, went out to the team that finished second in Magibid Susa, 3-1 the aggregate scoreline. And elsewhere, Wenta put 7 past Lupus of Gambasa, who only managed 3 goals over 2 legs. 7-3 the aggregate scoreline. So those are the results for you. We can now talk to Nathaniel Sherman, Nathaniel Tokwa, who is based in Gunter, Nima City, which was initially scheduled as the host venue, for this year playoff. And I must mention the 2 semi-final, the final and third play match will be played in Nima. Let's say welcome Nathaniel Tokwa. I'm calling Nathaniel Sherman.
I tell you, I was surprised.
Well, you guys are all Nathaniels now. One is Sherman, one is Stokman.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the important thing Nathaniel mentioned.
On a serious note, Nima County have got 2 clubs in the second round of the competition. The champion, Ben United, Ott.
Yeah, yesterday was an exciting day as well, but it was mixed feelings seeing the champions of Nimba, being United, being crashed out of their first ever third division national playoff, where they play a fantastic football in the first leg here against Kusa FC. By the way, it was the clash of the champions because Kusa also are champions of Bon County in the third division. So they were also facing up against the champions of Nimba. The first leg was in Ganta, where they played fantastically. The home side had to fight from behind after Kusa got an early goal in the first half to take a first half win. They came back to fight though they also missed a penalty. So they obviously had the chance to win that the first leg tie. And then they were back in the second leg in Bond County yesterday, where they lost the game on penalties after the aggregate score was all tied at 1-1 draw. And then as well in Lofa County, our Gompa FC, there's a third place team from the sub association here, also were able to emerge winners over Fulani FC as well in Gompa. So we saw Nimba Young Controllers getting a comfortable 2-0 victory over Phoebe Athletic, having suffered a 2-1 defeat in the first leg, and that got them a 3-2 win on the aggregate score to push them to the next phase of the competition. So yes, we had 3 teams in the first round, and 2 are still there, 1 dropped. Though there's a champions team that has dropped, and a lot of people were a bit disappointed. But again, having 2 of the 3 teams still being in their playoff, I think that is massive. It's a wonderful one as well.
Okay, I'm talking about Nimba because they will be the host when we reach the last 4, where 3 sticks, the 6 will be have 3 teams to progress the second division. You had 3 representatives. 1 team already missed out. We already have a second division team in Nimba County in the form of Mighty Enforcers. In fact, there are 2 now because the other team was relegated.
Yeah, Nimba Quado.
Nimba Quado were relegated. So,
Nimba Quado.
Possibility of another team from Nimba County winning one of those slots. How are the home fans in Gompa City going to approach this playoff with respect to supporting Gompa and Nimba Young Controllers?
Ben, the fans here, Amherst mentioned that in Nimba, the football fans in Gompa are enthusiastic when it comes to supporting teams. Yesterday at the Gompa Stadium, the stadium was jam-packed, just like, most time we see the games that a few people will really follow are mostly the national county-made games. And at the Gompa Stadium, most time you see people following the district league or the district tournament games in the district tournament, all of that. But yesterday, you could not believe how the stadium was jam-packed, coming to cheer the team Nimba Young Controllers. And as well, you have fans who were, while watching the game, or witnessing the game between NYC and Phoebe Athletic, they have fans who were also having their telephones or in their hands and on the internet watching the happenings in Lofa County. And as well, because there was nobody breaking the game live that they could follow from Banga, they were always on the telephone placing calls to people who were in Banga to know how their team there was faring. And they were just, all out, everybody just, their eyes open and they want to see. And after Nimba Young Controllers got the win, even in the first half, when they got the first half 1-0 win to go to the break, we saw, a fan intruded the pitch out of excitement, and he came to congratulate the team on winning the first half. So after the game, when the final whistle was being sounded by referee Samuel Zion, you saw fans were still clustered together and on their cell phones, and they want to see what is the result like in Lofa County when the match was in the post-match penalties. And when the goalkeeper committed the save, the whole fans went riot, celebrating wildly. And then that game also, so it was always happening, I tell you, interesting, it was happening one after the other. So after the game with Gompa and Fulani, they celebrated, and then they again went back in their shell on the phone to know what's happening in Banga. So eventually, they were just asking me, Natana, what's going on? And when I finally told them that, Bay United was defeated, we were like, wow. They were like broken down. But we still have to be happy because at least you got 3 teams and you have 2 that survived. So you still have to be proud of your team. So they are.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
They are really eager. Yeah, they're eager to see the teams progressing. If they left with them, I want to say they're even being greedy to some extent, greedy to achieve. The aspiration is just so much. It left with them alone. They want out of the 3 slots to be for Nimba.
And there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, Trojan. Nothing wrong with being ambitious. But so you confirm that there's unity amongst the clubs in Ganta or in Nima County, because in some areas, for example, when you go to Ghana, Ashanti, Kotoko, and House of Oak, anybody comes from Osa to play out of the teams, then they will cheer for the team that comes from Osa. Trojan, then there will be BYC, he knows what I'm talking about. Real Madrid and Barcelona, anything coming from Osa, played in Spain against Barcelona, Real Madrid supporters will inevitably support that team against Barcelona. But we don't see that happening in Neymar from your narrative, meaning all the Neymarians are behind all the Neymar clubs.
Oh yes. They are there. They want to see the teams because they feel like the belief is that the more teams they have, the more opportunities they will have to follow the National League, and the more opportunities they will have to see other teams, coming to Nimba. And when you have those teams coming to Nimba, it also, apart from just looking at football, it also adds some flavor to the economy, right? Mm-hmm. Because those teams coming, you have to get accommodation, you have to get feeding and all of those things. So you have to buy those things when you come. So those are the different perspectives. And like yesterday, the Gompa City Mayor himself came on the stadium even before the game could start, and he left there until everything. And then he was really excited as well. Also, Igor, one of those people that are really eager to know what's happening at the other two venues outside of Nimba, like in Banga and then in Von German.
So before we take leave of you, were you surprised that Montserrat have got all 4 teams representing them over the first round to the next round of the competition? I mean, amazing, Kemoka, Downtown, and what's the other team that made it 4? But 4 teams from Montserrat all over the land to the second stage of the competition. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because we are aware that football, especially when it comes to the National League, not the county meet. The county meet will always have counties from the one we call the Lee War or rural counties are always dominating the national county sports meet. Then Montserrat, right? But when it comes to National League, when it comes to the Liberian National Football League, the first, the second, the third, and even the Women League, we always have clubs from Montserrat, always taking all of the advantages as well. So, and in the National Television Playoff, we have always seen Montserrat County teams dominating. Not the first, not the third. Every time in the history of Liberian football, almost every I've not seen on national television playoff that Montserrat will not get a team coming from there to advance to the second division. So it's almost like they always have they are the biggest side that people will be looking at. So every time Montserrat County teams come, they are like they own this tournament or they own this playoff, and every other team is just coming to try their luck. But you always know that Montserrat teams will always come through to advance to the next round. So for me, I'm not surprised. We saw that in 2022 in Grand Bassa, where we have all of the Montserrat teams advancing, the left going until around the semifinals, where I think 2 of them have to meet each other 1 draw, and then we went into the final where Samira and then Pinsville FC played in the playoff final that year. So they're always dominating. So yes, it's nothing to be surprised about. The only thing I can say is, I think the teams from within the counties really have to work on. They have to study this thing and work on it. It is not every television player that will have the Montserrat teams dominating those other teams from around the counties. We always have the Montserrat teams dominating. And they always, almost like the playoff is always in their hands.
We're getting good audio from Nathaniel Tokba. They're calling us or joining the show from Ganta, in Nima County. This is Sports Talk or the Intel Sports. Ben and Trojan are your guests. Nathaniel Tokba was on to talk about national television playoff, but the line is coming and going. We still have a picture on your monitor. I'm very experienced sports journalist. But before you go, finally, now I know Trojan will have to come and chip in if he wants to. But Are you following the progress of Wayne Town? I just believe that they have the experience, they've been at that level, they've beaten Lupus to go to the next round. In fact, two teams from Margibi, Susa and Wayne Town, with plenty of experience in these playoffs, are over to the next round of the competition. Do you see Margibi producing one second division team?
The current performances from the Margibi County representatives in the playoff, again, it's not something to be surprised of. Every time we always see Margibi, but I don't know, they're not always fortunate. The Margibi County teams are not always fortunate when it comes to, qualifying to the second division. If I'm not making mistake, I think in the last 3-4 playoff, we've seen just maybe one team. That was, I think, the team that is now dissolved, Sandy FC. That was in 2019, where they progressed to the second division. And we always have Margibi County team. They always come, with that force, with that energy. They always catch the attention of everybody that, yes, I think this year is Margibi's year. But along the line, they can just flop and then drop. Like Susa has always been doing it in 2021. Susa came and they were in the playoff, and the way they came, the support they had, and all of those things, except CC United, that was the most publicized third division team that year. I think Susa, there was no other third division side in the competition that you could compare with Susa when it comes to the level of support they had. They brought their own balls and their attire, everything was just in place for them. So it was like, but this thing, it doesn't even deserve to be in the third division. They deserve being a second division team. And again, they went along and they could not progress to the second division. Yeah. So, and it happened when they seen Susa, New Horizon in 2022, and the last playoff edition, we saw other Margibi County teams again coming up, beating their opponents, but eventually they could not make any progress. So probably with what we've seen and with the level of experience, experience that they have, the level of experience, I hope my audio is coming good. Yeah. So with the level of experience they have, like we have Wayne Town FC that has players like Blamo Wea, the like of those guys. So we're looking to see what's going to happen for them. Yeah, we really hope to see what's going to happen for them.
Okay, Nat. Nothing much to say, but just to expect us in Nimba County.
Yeah.
Because we are coming for the final rounds of the third division playoffs.
We are expecting you people. We are having an open arms to receive all of you. But you have to also be praying for us that we can have our teams play in, because we can't be hosting, we don't have our representative. so you really got to pray that our teams can
play a part in football.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Now, can you play a part in football?
Prayer? Okay, prayer can play a part. Yeah, prayer will play a part by having our teams going safely for their games. And prayer can play part because everybody will play a human being and they need prayer.
I know. Okay. So,
okay, now we'll be coming there. Make sure how you call GB? This? The GB. How you call this thing with the GB? The goat poo poo.
Zokolo.
Hey,
GB, right?
How they call it? What's the name for it?
Okay. Okay, Zokolo. Yeah, the goat poo poo. Yeah, we can call it that. Goat poo poo GB.
Thank you ever so much, Nat, for coming on this platform. That's Nathaniel Topa there. He works for KMTV in Nimba County. He's situated in Gunter, to be specific. This is Sports Talk. Let's not just look at the fixtures that have come up for the last round or the second round of the third division playoffs. Obviously, the fixtures look like this. So the first one there, children, can you see from there? Children, now I can see from there. Kusa from Bong County, the champions, versus Nimba Young Controller, who finished second. In July, play over 2 legs. Let's check the next fixture and see.
Is there?
Yes. I thought we'll check the next one on the television.
Yeah, that's the next one.
That's the next one? But I can see from here. Oh, I'm almost like Trojan. Okay, but I think you can see Finda. Is that Finda? Yeah, I want to believe it's Finda FC from River G. Yeah, Finda FC from River G. I think we'll be playing. What's that Kanaka? I can see from here too clearly. But I think you, closer to the screen, you can see. You can see what it is. Susa from Magidi.
Yeah. It's
Versus-
River GFC or something like that.
Okay. Versus River
FC, but it's
Susa. Okay. That's the next one fixtures. One hasn't come here, but Beta versus Dreams FC. Is that Jeta? Mate Angels from Bapolu to take on Downtown from Monserrado. Kemoka versus Amazing, all Monserrado affairs.
So it means that the 4 Monserrado teams will not be
No,
going
no.
to.
All Monserrado affairs is the last one. They will be playing at the Alligator Field, okay, on the 14th of July, a week on today, or a week on tomorrow. Okay, a week on tomorrow. And the next one is, we'll talk about Mighty Angel versus Downtown, Kemoka versus Amazing. I must mention that Amazing is the champions of the National Third Division, that's Monserrado Soccer Association football. Last one is Jacob FC versus Dream FC. Tokoba versus another team for Sando. It's a derby.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
I'll be very unfortunate to meet each other. You don't want to play your neighbors. You don't want to in such a competition. But the 2 legs will be played at JE Green. Okay, so firstly, Jeta play at home against Dreams FC. In a few days' time, Dreams FC, the host Jeta, the away team. I think they are going to generate some money with respect to gate intake. That is going to help the clubs. And then elsewhere in Fishtown, Finda FC versus Paris. Paris saw off Takun from Grand Gide. Paris is from Grand Gide. Okay, they saw off Takun from Maryland County. So those are the fixtures. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. We've looked at, in fact, the 3rd division playoff is arguably the biggest football, gathering of teams playing, because you got teams representing various counties from
all the counties.
All of the counties, of course. So you got pretty close to 30 or more teams competing for just 3 slots. So it's a very difficult competition. You have to play first in play in your domestic 3rd division league, and then you play in the county playoffs, and then you get qualified from there to the national playoff. And then
It's tough.
It's a marathon. So that's why when you get into the 2nd division, you need to do as well as possible so that you don't come down to the 3rd division, because coming from the 3rd division, any part of the world, in fact, is very difficult to go to the 2nd and then to the 1st. It's easier from the 2nd to the 1st. It's very difficult from the 3rd to the 2nd. Yeah, so we talk about that. We're waiting, of course, our panelists to join us. Our guest, Michael Mulumonga Joseph, will be joining us. But let's talk a little bit about the District League. And then, the District League is arguably the biggest.
The league after the league.
After the county meet comes the District League.
I mean, Monserrado District League, its attendance is massive. Very, very massive. You wouldn't believe it has more gate intake than even the
1st division league?
The National League, National 1st Division League. I don't know what the spirit.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's the district, right? So it is not a club, but this is a district team. Players, it has been made in a way that players playing in the District League are from the district. All right, you got to be resident of the district, then you play for the district. Of course, in that sense, same as we see with the company, you have people who belong to the district who feel that the district is theirs. You know, they are part parcel of the district, so they must come out to cheer the district. Aside from those people, you also have the immediate families of the players. You have the friends of the players, all of them, and it is a bragging right. Who is the best district? Which district is the best district in Montserrat County when it comes to football? So right now, for the past 12 months, District 11 has been carrying the bragging right. Can they retain it? So other districts are, like you said, district number one. They are number one, but not in there. So this time around, they want to prove something. It says, since we are district number one, Benita and all of them in district number one, putting everything together. That's the district two. I saw what the lawmaker, Emmanuel Dan, you know, he just hosted his community league, and I think the Ghana players, and I saw those group of players, you know, and I'm like, this guy has been preparing as well. So it's not going to be an easy thing. It's going to be tough, but it's something I'm sure every district will put their everything into to make sure that one district can win. And district,
You have to betray 11 and 7 for you. I mean, this is
my father
so talking this but these and have just to many people. Let's look at the first round of matches. This is going to start on the 10th of July. It's on Thursday. So
Welcome back to it right here. This is, of course, Sports Talk on Intel Sports. This lovely Monday. Our sincere apologies for the bit of break due to some internet glitches we're experiencing. But that's it. These technical things do happen. And of course, we can only say sorry. But yes, our guest is around. Our panelists are also around. We should be introducing them very shortly. But Ben, whilst we're discussing the league, we're talking about the third division national player. We're talking about the district league. There has been this concern. Let me just read this.
Okay.
One of the followers, I think they are basketball. I think this should be because they say let's promote basketball in Liberia, bring back our basketball game in national county sports meets, both female basketball and male basketball. They didn't stop there. They came down to say, let our basketball be discussed too. So they're like thinking we do not discuss basketball here, but maybe they've not been following.
I think you have to apologize
But-
to us.
We do discuss, in fact, we cover every aspect of sports. It's just not about football. You will understand, of course, that football is the biggest
Most popular sports.
Yes, the most popular in Liberia, and it is active all over.
Yeah.
All right, so you find it dominating. But we've discussed basketball several times on this program. In fact, the last time the Secretary General of the Basketball Association, Calvin Dix, made a commitment. We did a flyer. We
He
put it
didn't
up.
come.
He was supposed to come for us to talk more basketball because we heard that the Basketball Association was preparing
Yeah.
another
U17 or U18.
U17,
Yeah.
U18 team to participate in the regional competition. And so we thought to have it discussed here. And so we made an arrangement with Calvin Dix. He agreed. We made a flyer, but unfortunately, he didn't show up. He was a no-show, so to speak. So yes, we do discuss basketball. We discuss every aspect, like I said, of sports, and we'll discuss every aspect of sports. And tonight, our main discussion is just that our guest said he's going to come on a little bit late, but our main discussion tonight is centered around, of course, our Team Liberia for the Paris 2024 Olympics. Malcolm Wulimaga Joseph.
That's not football.
That's not football.
That's not football. We're discussing about National Olympic Committees, athleticism, you do surfing, you do track and field, boxing, just go there and name it. That's not football, okay? So I think you have to apologize to us. I'm just joking. Don't take me too serious, but this is sports talk. Do you have Wulimonga Joseph? That's what they call the name. Wulimonga. Check the pronunciation. Wulimonga.
Okay. I think
he should be very tired because I think he was.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, tired, not tired to talk. He left talking, but he been doing some gymnastics. He was just in the gym. And so
I still don't think so. I think he's
Mr. Joseph, let's say welcome.
energized.
Thank you very much. You are correct. I'm kind of physically exhausted. Just returning from the gym. But of course, I'm here.
And that is very, very good. So, how far is our preparation for the Olympic Games in Paris?
Well, I can say preparation is in full swing. We are in high spirit as a country as we prepare for the Paris Olympic Games. Yes, you may be aware, we have a total of 8 athletes that qualified to represent Liberia at the Paris Games. The Olympics starts on the 26th of July, Liberia's Independence Day. That is the official opening ceremony. It's going to run to the 11th of August. And I must state here that This is the largest delegation in terms of athletes ever in the
Okay.
history of Liberia. We're having 8 athletes to the games. 8 athletes qualify, not on a quota basis. I'm talking about meeting Olympic standards and competition. We have 8 athletes. So this is the
And
biggest ever in the
and
history of the country.
and that is an improvement by every margin to have 8 athletes representing our country for the first time in the Olympic Games.
How did we do it? How did we have 8 athletes this time around going to represent us?
Well, it's simple. You can't just pick up your bags and I'm walking to the Olympics. If that been the case, you have millions of athletes standing out. It's not wondering of athletes standing out to participate. Every athlete want to participate in the Olympics. The Olympic Games is the largest sporting event in the world, parading over 200 countries, competing in various sporting disciplines. So that's the biggest sporting event in the world that every athlete would like to feature in. But unfortunately, there has to be standards, and there are Olympic standards. You must qualify to participate in the Olympic. For example, if you are a man and you a male athlete and you are running 100 meters, you should run 100 meters between I think 10 between 10.2 10.3 there about seconds. Anything above that, you are not qualified to compete in the Olympics. So there are standards set. Yeah. So that is how we got the qualification. But in the event where a country maybe you don't have no athlete qualify, for the sake of participation, the IOC will give you what we call quota. They may actually say, bring one male, bring one female athlete, even though they are not qualified, but for your country to be represented, for your country to participate in the Olympic, they will
Okay.
quota. Yeah.
Are we in that category?
No, Troy, not been at
We're not there.
Not David Spell.
We're not there. No, we're not disrespecting us. So, what are the categories we're going to be competing in? I mean, I'm sure the 100 meters, and what other categories are we going to be competing in?
Yeah, basically this time around, like in most instances, we will be competing in athletics. But as you are aware, athletics have various disciplines and categories. So we will be competing in the women's 100 meters hurdles. We'll be competing in the women's 100-meter dash, that's the women's 100-meter race. We also compete in the women's 200-meter race, and then we will compete in the male 100 meters. We also compete in the male 200 meters, and we compete in the male 4x1 meters relay.
The athletes, are any of them based? Are any of them based in Liberia?
No, all of our athletes are based abroad. Specifically, they are based in the U.S. Liberia has a very good athletics program in the U.S. That is, we have the coach, Seyon Cooper, who is also an Olympian. He participated. He represented Liberia at the Olympics before. And we also have Kuti Mawin. Kuti is also an Olympian. He also represented Liberia at the Olympics before. And Kuti has been the agent who have been scouting people of Liberian descent, Liberians that are based in the U.S., been scouting them, and they've been working on them, working with them, the coach with them to ensure that they meet the standards that we have now. So that program has been very successful, but that program has also been supported by the Liberian National Olympic Committee. We have some of them on our IOC scholarship, where we provide stipend to them on a quarterly basis so that they can avoid the issue of full-time jobs, for example, so that they will have time to train enough. So we've been providing that support to, I think, 3 of them over the period. And that support also have been provided to one local athlete here, but unfortunately, she like we say in Liberia, she did not make it. She couldn't gain qualification. She didn't come in.
She got love.
Yeah, and we took her to Accra, of course. The Accra Games was also qualified, but then unfortunately she couldn't make qualification, so she did not qualify. So we managed to get these 8 athletes that have all qualified. If I'm to name them and to state their various races, I see
Yeah,
Mr.
definitely. Just go ahead. Our 2 panelists are already with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing
Eddie Harris.
the grid is getting so plenty. I thought I was Eric Cantona on the screen.
Eddie is here. Bill Murray from Canada is here. Eddie is from the States. Our guest, folks, is the Vice President of the Liberia National Olympic Committee, and we're talking about our team's participation. That is Liberia's participation, Team Liberia's participation in the Paris Olympics, which is slated to start on our Independence Day, July 26th. So you guys welcome. And let's go back to Mr. Joseph as he now names for us those athletes and the various, races they will be participating in.
Yeah, okay. I want to also welcome my co-panelists. I see Eddie. It's been a long time now, Eddie, and of course then my own man Ben Murray. Sekou, what's up? Yeah, okay. So like I was saying, we have 8 athletes, and Ebony Morrison. Ebony will be contesting in the women's 100-meter hurdles. At the Paris game, we have Destiny Smith Barnett. She will be competing in the women's 100 meters dash. That's the 100 meters race. We also have Thelma David. Thelma will be competing in the women's 100 meters and 100 and 200 meters races at the Olympics. So she will compete in the 100 meters and also compete in the 200 meters. Then we have Emmanuel Matadi, who is like a godfather of the team, the most senior athlete among the rest of them. As a matter of fact, this should be Emmanuel's, if I'm not mistaken, his 3rd Olympics. And so he's the most senior. He will be competing in the 100 meters. And Emmanuel Matadi will also compete in the 4x100 meter relay. The relay there are 4 athletes running where you pass the baton from one end to another. So Emmanuel Matadi will compete in the singles 100 meter race and also compete in the 4x100 meter race. And then we also have Joseph Fambole. Joseph Fambole, of course, is a gem. He's a sensation. And as a matter of fact, Fambole won gold in the Yaoundé Games. He won gold in the 100 meters and 200 meters. But he will be competing this time around in the 200 meters, and also he's part of the relay team, so he will compete also in the 4x100 meter relay. Then we have John Sherman. John Sherman is a member of the relay team as well. He's competing in the 4x100 meter relay. Jiber Reeves also is a member of the relay team. He's also competing in the 4x100 meter relay. Then we also have Akim Salif. Akim Salif is an alternative. Is an alternative because it's four athletes that will be running in the relay, but you are entitled to have an alternate. So the alternate is there where in the event there are technical issues with maybe one of the athletes may be injured or may not be prepared to compete, then the alternate will come in. So that is how we have Akim. So Akim is also on the relay team as well. So these are the 8 athletes. There are 5 male and 3 females that will be competing, representing Liberia at the Paris Games.
That's wonderful. We will be talking also about the financial side, because these things do not go without money. But maybe our panelists have a point or two to bring forth, maybe something they want to comment on or they want to ask you about. So Eddie and Bill. Let's start with you, Eddie.
Yeah, Georgian, how you doing? Hello to my fellow panelists. It's good seeing Bill Newey and Marco on the line today. I appreciate you guys for coming and for taking your time for us to discuss sports as it affect our country, Liberia. Well, I've been following the games, the Joseph family and the rest of the guys that have been representing Liberia. I was one person that was even posting his success online because most of the time a lot of us in Liberia tend to only talk about soccer and forget about other sports when they are making headlines. What Joseph did, he did a lot and he needs to be appreciated by us in Liberia. I don't know where I'm not informed to that, but I think that's one of the first time we have won a gold medal. So that's something we need to talk about. He even needs to be honored. That's a big success for our country. So I just appealing to Marco and those in charge to continue to do the good work and make sure we scout more athletes so that when they got fade away, we will have people to replace them.
Fair enough. Bill?
Guys doing, man? Big up to you guys. Big up to you guys. How you doing?
Bill, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but how do you manage be swapping all those continents? You are in Africa, you are in Europe, now you're in Canada. You just like, wow.
This guy gonna kill me right now. But listen, my situation remains that I'm a FIFA agent, international match agent. I move a lot. That's what I pay my rent in Europe. I pay 1,500 for my apartment already per month. So I had to move, bro. I had to move. You know how it look there in Europe, but man, you over there, you know it. You always in Europe. You always in Europe. What I want to say here that my brother have said it all. My son is one of the runners. Wellington Zaza is my first son. Yeah, Wellington Zaza is my Trojan. You don't know that, but I will tell you today.
I certainly don't know.
Yeah, Wellington Zaza, I made him when I was playing in Nigeria National League, top league, and I made him there. And when I came to Europe, it was the first thing I had to do. When he was 5, 6 years old, I brought him to the United States of America. He and his mom, and he won titles for Liberia in the African Nation Cups in Nigeria, where he was with Isa Ayatu, etc. and etc. For me, being a football player, ex-professional, first national team player, etc., and etc., he did not follow my path. He did what he's supposed to do, and I applaud it. Right now we're talking about our Olympic giants. I want to applaud Famule already. I want to applaud him real good. And what I want to say as regards to Trojan said, we have to find the financial backing of these players. What we want to do here is talk to the youth and sports minister to obviously do his job to talk to the president of the Republic of Liberia to find a little bit of financial package for these kids. These kids are doing their utmost best. So at the end of the day, the administrators that are with these kids, they need the financial backing. We don't want to be squeezing up 3 full person in one room where we're going to be saying, "Oh, we don't have money," and we are a poor country, etc. and etc. Because we don't have money. No, let they call it motivation. Motivation in all sports is money. So what we have to do, we have to tell our own brother, Ko Bangalo, that coming from our own region to be able to talk to the president of the Republic of Liberia to be able to do etc. and etc. For our kids that running in the French festival. I will be there. I'm next to. I will just take my car and drive there. Just 2 hours distant from Paris or whatever they have in it, and I will be there with my man Kuo, Kawo, and then we're gonna be there to cheer our national team with fly the flag of Liberia. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you guys just hold on because we're talking about this financial issue now. So let's go to the Vice President of the LNOC, Malcolm Joseph, who should be on top of this to tell us exactly how much has the government chipped in, or how much have
Why should
they
government be
promised to chip in.
What should government be chipping?
What is the support like financially to the team? We're talking about today's the 8th, so the 26th. We're talking about just 18 days or so from now.
That's over 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. So tell us exactly how has been the support like? What is the link between the LNOC and the government relative to financial support that will help, of course, put the team in a prepared state of mind for the competitions?
Well, that is the downside of it. While the technical aspect seem to be on the high side, the financial aspect, we are still grappling with it as a country. The Liberian National Olympic Committee, way back as I think it was December last year, that is before this government took over, we submitted 2 budgets to the Ministry of Finance, one for the Olympic Games, and then the other for the All African Games in Accra, which took place in March. And the government could not come through until they left power. We follow up with the new government under Minister Ko Bangalu. And unfortunately for us, we went to the African Games on what technically we call laying our Liberian parlor, we say when we're on Sepe. The African Games, unlike the Olympic Games, you pay for participation. And the African Game is a game jointly organized by the African Union, so it's a governmental game, so to speak, as opposed to the Olympics, which is squarely organized by the International Olympic Committee. So the African Games, who went to the African Games on Sepe, like I said, the government could not provide a budget of $75,000 for the African Games, and so the Liberian National Olympic Committee had to plead with its parent body to request in advance our administrative support that we receive from our parent body, the IOC, facilitate Liberia's participation with the provision that the government of Liberia will refund us. That was the agreement with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. But till now, that refund has not been made possible. We've submitted all of the documents, the receipts, flight ticket receipts, and everything to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and that money have not been made available yet. According to them, they submitted it to finance and it's still there. For the Olympics, also, at the time we submitted our budget, we submitted a budget of $128,000 for our participation at the Olympic Games. And as I speak to you, that money has not been made available. We have 2 weeks to go. You guys over there know how flying look like. The closer you buy your ticket, the more expensive it is. And we are afraid right now that even if that money is provided, those projections that were made for tickets might not be realistic any longer because ticket prices are gone up, especially where there's Olympic, where tourists, everybody rush into Paris. And then with this short notice, right, this be as it may, the budget is at the Ministry of Finance. So as recent as today, I've been running after it. We've been running after it for last week. We're still running after it. They gave us the assurance that the money will be made available this week. And we hope that works out. so that we can be able to get the tickets, because we have to get plane tickets, buy them, and dispatch them to our athletes in the US. They are based in the US, so they have to fly from the US to Paris, and the delegation from Liberia here as well. So there where we are, and we are hoping that, as a matter of fact, we have not even purchased uniforms yet, because all is in the budget. We have to purchase
Wow.
uniforms, the official dress code. Every country, for the opening ceremony, you must have your traditional official dress code. All of these things we have not taken care of them yet because of the same budget things. So there where we are.
Wow. Now, let me come to Bill, and hopefully Eddie can rejoin us.
Bill can rejoin us.
Okay, until Bill can rejoin us. But Eddie, you guys have been into this before, traveling with teams, money being paid on time or paid late. What are the consequences? Yes, Malcolm talking about, of course, they've not even purchased uniforms. I mean, at a time like this, the closer to the game, the higher the ticket prices. We've not even done that yet. We've not purchased tickets. There's no money. How does this affect the team, the morale, the motivation going to this kind of global competition? And the 11th hour, money is still not available. Eddie?
Okay, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is something that is unique to all disciplines as it relates to sports in Liberia. Magon experiencing it with Olympic committee. I show you I experienced it with basketball and football before. This is something that we all go through, despite the different kind of discipline. I have been in a situation before where I had to go to the bank and had to take motorbike from the bank, from RB Bank to the airport with cash to be able to take my thing all over Liberia. So I know what Magon going through. I've been through it a lot. I have been through it. And like you said, it's just a kind of situation that we as administrators or stakeholders in sport, we have to handle properly, not to get the players or the athletes involved, because if you start informing them about the ongoing situation, it kills the morale of the team.
Exactly.
So they got to find some means to be able to tell them what they need to hear while you do the dirty work. I mean, you will not go to them and say, "Oh God, man, you want to get your money?" Oh, the owner of the team don't want to get no. You have to say something to them to keep the morale high while you go through the hurdles to be able to get finances. But as Magon said, tickets and all of that, at the end of the day, some of the money that are allocated for padans and other things, you guys have to go deep into it because you got to pay excess in preparation. Because as the time draw near, everything increases. But that's it. That's just the kind of situation we go through when it comes to sports in Liberia.
All right.
Okay, Trojan, can I come in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very good, Harris, and my dear brother Malcolm Joseph. You guys have said it all. Yeah, Malcolm Joseph, you guys have said it all. What we got to do here now, we need a desist from the attitude. It's been a long time that Liberia national team and all our national teams, in essence, to what I'm trying to say, for it will be Olympics, even the Liberian national football team going outside, it always at it always comes to the to the last minute before the people release money. We need to desist from this kind of a thing where we need to tell, I mean, our brother who happen to be the new minister of youth and sports to be able to, we need to put one step of our games. Our game should be one step. We have played the game, all of us play the game, and then we suffer from these situations. So at the end of the day, we are suffering from this situation. We need to have a solution to the situation that we suffer from. if you guys listening carefully, what I want to tell you guys here now, Ko Bangalo is in the midst. He knows he been in around the players. He been around all the teams, and he's the present minister of the sports. What he have to put is for Malcolm Joseph to not suffer, as Eddie have just said, for Malcolm Joseph to not suffer to the last minute, where the people will be having hope on Malcolm Joseph. And at the end of the day, Malcolm Joseph waiting to the last minute and that start rushing. But man, let me tell you something, we're getting older. Stress, everything is in the midst. So what we have to do here now is talk to our men for us to be able to put the thing ahead. Talking to the referee people to push the thing in front. This is the moral of the country. This is the moral of the country. Thank you.
Okay. Ben?
Well, it's a fantastic conversation. I didn't want for you to close, but I'll be here. We got 8 minutes plus a few minutes or so to go. Let me just recognize a few of our friends that are following. Mark God-favored Mensa is a fan of football. He's also following. Achilles Mowosa, he was talking about the inclusion of basketball. Thank you for following. We'll try to always do better. Monkaye Wanda is also following. And so is Jar M. Sherman. Wendy Gaga of the Liberia Football Association is following.
Yeah.
George T. Elliott is watching from Abuja in Nigeria. Welcome, George. Robert Famuya Sis is watching, predictably from Lookington. He's a big fan of basketball. And Elijah Ria Sapogard is also watching.
So everything is set. No matter what, we're all keeping our fingers crossed. Yeah, let us all cross our fingers. But we're sure that on the day,
Trojan, you guys are off.
What's going on?
I think they have a problem in the studio.
Okay.
Mago, what's on, man?
Yeah, Chief.
The minute go. I hope they can bring the issue of basketball because we need to address the issue of them taking basketball out of the national county meet. I think I started a campaign on it already.
okay. So we're back. Guys, are you getting us?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm there.
Sure.
So
Sure.
you could just answer, outside of the regular government now, have you reached out probably to others as well?
Well, no. We were working with Dr. Clarence Moniba, who had expressed interest to work with us to see how we can be able to source some funding outside of government. We held a couple of meetings, and a roadmap, a plan that was put in place, but unfortunately, we wanted to bring the athletes here from the All African Games to showcase them to use that as a means of mobilizing resources. But unfortunately, most of them were engaged with qualifications, so they had to rush back right after the African Games in Accra. So that did not materialize. So that is why we could not raise anything outside of government's intervention. So, like I mentioned, one thing that we did was to make sure that we submit the budgets way in advance. So like I said, we submitted the two budgets. I think either November or December from the whole administration, and I can attest to it that Minister Zoga Wilson we submitted our budget to the finance ministry then by Samuel Twe. And then after this government took over, we went back to the ministry. The ministry wrote another letter again and we'll follow up with it. So that's where we are right now. We are on the stairs of the Ministry of Finance to ensure that we do that differently.
Okay. I think time is almost playing around us. I heard Eddie talk about basketball. In fact, since Malcolm Joseph is also a vice president of basketball, they made a chief of vice president.
I'm not vice president of basketball. I'm the treasurer.
The vice president is Ibrahim.
No,
It's
Ibrahim Samuka
is the president.
No,
The Captain Deuce is the. He's a stakeholder. Malcolm is always a stakeholder.
the treasurer.
I'm the treasurer
Oh.
of basketball.
Yeah, he has Sesta Mogadin.
Yeah, he has one of the biggest teams, Cester Mongols, that have got foreign players playing in the league. But just before we close up, we don't have
We beating
time.
Eddie FPRC all us.
Mama will be used.
1.2 each other.
So we're going to come back here, and I hope this time around, Malcolm, when we extend the invitation now, there was somebody under the line saying we don't discuss basketball, which was not fair to us. We've tried our utmost. We've reached out to the Basketball Authority. The last time we had Calvin Dix agree to come on the show. Unfortunately, he didn't. So we hope we can find that time to talk basketball and what is happening to basketball. But before we close up, no time. Malcolm, what is the status of basketball very quickly?
Well, basketball, the league is on. Unfortunately, we are running the league without any sponsor, and that has been a serious challenge for us. We could not secure Celcom, we could not secure Lone Star, so absolutely no sponsorship, and it has been very challenging. And we are working to see how we can be able to attract, especially we just started the Big Six, and we are working to see how we can be able to attract more people to the games, even if the gym is jam-packed. It's not sufficient to run the league. At that point in time, we were even held hostage by the referees because the LBA constitution states that a certain percentage of the gate intake that is paid to the referees, but because the intake at the gate had been very negligible, so the referees were not getting anything good. So they insisted that we them per game. And at one point in time, they held us hostage. The league stopped for almost 2 weeks, and we had to personally put our hands in our pockets and get some money to settle the referees so that we can be able to continue the league. That is the challenge we have as a leadership. And of course, once the leadership is experiencing such a challenge, you should know that the clubs themselves are experiencing even more. Because we know I run a basketball club. I know how expensive it is. Just a single practice will cost you around $50 US. A game may cost you maybe $75 to $100 US. I'm just talking about the routine. I'm not talking about player salaries and all those kind of things. So it has been a very we are looking forward to making sure that we be able to attract some level of sponsorship, especially as we enter the second round. We are into the Big Six, and we'll be moving to the semifinals, and then, of course, but that is the situation right now. It's a challenge all over.
Okay, fair enough. We'll have time enough to talk about it next time. But Eddie, just chip in quickly?
Yeah, Trojan, of late in the past maybe 3-4 days, a few of us have started our campaign as it relates to basketball with the Ministry of Youth and Sports as to why the second most recognized sports in the world is always omitted from the National County Sports Meet. This is a campaign we have started. We have reached out to the chairman of the Senate Committee on Sports, and we're going to take this challenge because the ministry keep telling us there's no money to honor the cost of all the discipline. But then last year, kickball and soccer was played. This year, they are adding female soccer. So why can't we play basketball? Kickball is not recognized nowhere around the world. I'm not against female soccer being included. But why always omit basketball? It is a same thing happening. Look at the budget for sports and see how much is being allocated to basketball. $1,250. That's only some of us can take from our pocket. That's a shame. That's a shame, Trojan. They don't have interest in basketball. So we're going to start the campaign and we will not end. I want you find time for us to talk about this.
No, I know you want to accelerate, but you are a panelist on this show, so we'll always have time to talk about it because I can see you teaching again now to accelerate.
But I'm not cheating again.
Just hold it right there. And of course, let's go to Malcolm quickly. Our final word, your final word right here before we leave tonight.
Well, thank you, Trojan, and we need all hands as we prepare for the Paris Games. We need to call our government to attention that this is a representation of the nation. Liberia cannot be left out among the over 200 countries that will participate, and our participation, the technical team has done its part. We will have the biggest delegation so far in terms of Olympic, in the history of Olympic. It's left with the government to play its role to make sure that it provides the necessary resources on time so that we can have smooth participation. Like Eddie said, we are keeping this to our chest because we don't want to demoralize the athletes. So they don't know about this. I hope none of them following. Yes, they don't know about this. And we hope that the Ministry of Youth and Sports itself can help us as Olympic Committee to mount the necessary pressure to make sure that we get the payment so that we can put the necessary mechanism in place to ensure that we have a very good Olympic Games as a country.
I'm sorry, Trojan. I have one question for him. Is a question that has a one-word answer. Like we see in football, aside from plenty case being bought for players, okay, the authorities can pay appearance fees and then fees for winning bonuses and so forth. Does that happen with the athletes too?
Well, like I said, what in our budget is basically plenty case and per dimes for the athletes. We pay them per dime. That's all. And then, of course, incidental, and then the uniforms. That's all on the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Eddie, just a minute.
Trojan, like you said, firstly, let me say thanks for this forum, where I appreciate you guys for the kind of work you do to help promote sports in Liberia. I also want to say hats off to my brother Malcolm, and I wish you guys all the best. We hope that things work out so that our Olympic team can be fully represented in Paris so that we can see the best out of our athletes. So thanks for the invite and hope we'll see you again.
Yeah, we'll be here regularly, Eddie. Regularly we'll be on this show. All right,
Discuss basketball. Well, we gotta go. I mean, it's already over time.
Thanks to Malcolm, Willie Monga Joseph, of course. Thanks to our two panelists who join us. You will be seeing them regularly here, including others. They will be here. We'll be discussing variety of sporting issues on this program, Sports Talk, right here on Intel Sports. So thanks to Eddie and thanks to Bill Niue for showing up tonight.
We'll be back here on Wednesday. Have a lovely, wet Monday night.
Good night.